Okay, let's talk August energies. But before I do that, let's just go back over my previous predictions and how did I do? Because my mind, my little ego mind, likes to keep track of these things. So things did, I did pretty well. We did see that the two hurricanes did, one manifested, the one that I predicted would go over Memphis. That really took off. That was more of a rain event, but it was still a hurricane. And then the hurricane that I saw in Hawaii, there was a hurricane that started that, but I guess it fizzled out. So still right on. And let's see what else. The plane crash that I saw, I would suspect that that was the military practice jet that took a nosedive in the desert when they were practicing. Unfortunate. And the biggest news, right? Oh, and the missiles that I saw being launched by either China or North Korea. Because what I was seeing wasn't the Confucian symbol. I now realize it was the communist symbol that I was seeing on the missiles. But both China and North Korea launched missiles. And what we won't hear, and what I felt deeply, that this was either one, it was a warning, a message, silent message to the US. So that's an interesting storyline going on. But the biggest news, of course, we all figured this out. You know, we knew this would happen, right? Jeffrey Epstein, now deceased by apparent suicide. But it was not a suicide. I'm seeing it as a poisoning. And I have to tell you, I'm really not in the mood to do this energy update because his death, and I can feel the loss of chi energy and sort of this despair and lost feeling that people are feeling. And I'm not, this video is not for the average person out there who's not interested at all in spirituality or truther movement or conspiracies or diving into the deep, dark, deep state politics. You know, this is not affecting them. I'm speaking to the people in this type of community. What they're feeling right now is a huge loss. And I'm feeling it too. I'm really surprised because most things I'm completely detached, but I can feel this hitting people right here because the death of Jeffrey Epstein means case closed. Criminal investigation is done. However, and so let me back up. With that criminal case closed, that means that the deep state, it appears that the deep state and all of its sick underbelly shenanigans, let's just put it that way, more delay in that being exposed and people waking up. That their wonderful leaders are not who they thought they were, this world is not what they thought it was, that there's some really sick stuff that needs to come out. And the case has been closed on that. Oh, and my predictions about, you know, some shocking news that would get global attention, well, I think this was the news. And, you know, globally, the people involved with Jeffrey Epstein are feeling a huge sigh of relief. So, you know, they're like, yay. But globally, the people that are interested in the disclosure, truth, or whatever spiritual movement, New Age movement, they're feeling it as a huge shock. So I'm thinking that that was the message that was going to be announced, or the truth that was going to be revealed. Anyway, moving on. I do think that there's a bigger picture about the death of Jeffrey Epstein is not going to be the end of it. Something else is coming, but I don't know what. The field and checking in with what's happening is too muddied right now. Everybody's checking in like what's going on. So it's a very muddied field. But here's what I saw. It's a strange vision. Jeffrey laying in a hammock, dead, maybe wrapped up in a hammock in between two palm trees. And this image fits very well into the energies, the hexagram, and everything that's going on for the month of August, why I'm calling it Auspicious August, because it's all about unification and depolarization. So I think what's happening with Jeffrey Epstein, he's going to be pulling in two poles. He's linking two poles, and that is the whole meaning, or the whole message of the hexagram that I got for this month. So, Auspicious August, and that is not easy to say. While the title, and ultimately this will lead to great success, something good, at the same time, things are getting darker, okay, at the same time. But the darkness is going to lead to unification, the light. The darkness draws in the light. So when I checked in, the word that I got for the energies of August into September, 30, 40-day time period, is depolarization. And the hexagram that I got was number 2, which is in the gene keys, it's called unity. The hexagram, though, talks about it's the divine feminine principle. It is the dark principle, meaning everything in manifest reality. It's the divine feminine, the creative, the receptive. It is the darkness that draws the light of cosmic consciousness. So we have two poles that will be unified in the end. Now, serendipitously, I looked at the planets, the transits going on, and because the 64 hexagrams are laid out in an astrological system. So when I looked at the hexagrams for this particular 30-day time period, the hexagrams or gene keys that are linked for this month this is another synchronicity, are connected to a codon ring. And this codon ring is called the Ring of Union. So the theme of this month could not be more clear. Like I did all of these separately. Depolarization, unity, and the Ring of Union all came up in separate ways. So what's going to happen, and let me read you. This is going to be a very auspicious month. It's a real turning point, but it's going to get darker, okay? It's going to appear that things are getting worse, that division and intolerance is going to get worse, but we need it to, because it is the darkness, or the out of alignment ego behavior that draws in the highest light, the highest consciousness, okay? So, but let me read you. When using the I Ching for these energy reports, I first take it as strictly like an oracle type predictive traditional interpretation. And here's what I got. The line 6 for hexagram 2. And it says the traditional interpretation. It's called Dragons Fight in the Meadow. Their blood is black and yellow. And it says, this was traditionally, as a strictly an oracle type message, was taken to mean that the dark element should yield to the light because the dark's time is over. So I feel this 100%, that the darkness on this planet, the majority of ego division and intolerance is about to reach its end, and the light, or the desire, the longing for people to find their way into unity, harmony with the cosmos, will take over. The light will begin penetrating into the dark very, very strongly. But like I said, in the meantime, it's going to get more divisive, and it's already been happening, right? All these shootings, you couldn't get any more divisive, right? Political lines, it's may get a little darker. But here is the underlying message from the sage, or the hexagram number 2. It is talking about that the message is that in order for the light to truly penetrate deeply into the darkness, and first of all, this hexagram is saying that we have to stop living in opposites, 2 poles, light and dark, right, wrong, good, evil. This is only keeping us separated from being in harmony. We must see that these two are 2 sides of the same coin. The light and the dark are inseparable from each other. They are one and the same, and they cannot be separated. But we are living in a time where we keep separating ourselves from the cosmos by pointing at that group, saying that they're evil, they're the culprit, they're the problem. We're creating lines of divisions outwardly and inwardly. Especially when we go, oh, the light is better than the dark, and the light has to come in and save us. We are separating the light from the dark. We are separating harmony from ourselves. It feels like, our mind wants to tell us, oh no, that we have to always be in the light, but that separates us from ourselves. It keeps us out of harmony with the cosmos. So the message for this month, if we truly, in order for the light to truly deeply penetrate into people's lives, we have to stop looking at life and events, ourselves, in opposites. That's good, that's bad. They're part of the dark cabal. You get it. You have to see that it's all one energy. It's all one being operating. If we just accept that and see it that way and call on the cosmic helpers to help us, now's the time to call for cosmic help. If ever there was a time, we have to step back, look at things in a unified way, and look at all the darkness going on and see it as a magnet for the light. And it's all the same. It's all God energy. It's all God expressing itself. Sorry, I'm not really, because my energy is really, my chi energy is a little low and I'm not really on point, but I hope I've made this clear. So, yeah, sorry about this. So this is going to be energetically, this is going to be a really good month for a lot of people astrologically. They'll have lots of energy. They'll feel remotivated. They'll feel like, oh, it's time to start new projects. For some people, though, they may feel the debilitation. Myself, this is a personal astrological time that is debilitating for me. So don't worry if other people are bouncing around with new ideas and you're still feeling unmotivated, totally fine. But there's lots of fire going on, lots of intensity. The dark energy that is coming up for people is, you know, this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing and the shootings are causing people to feel lost, disoriented. So the undercurrent, the darkness that's going to draw in the light is people feeling as if, oh God, here we go again, moving into a deeper, darker, we're going in the wrong direction. They're going to feel lost and disoriented. They're going to feel dislocated, okay? But that, and it's going to come with a lot of fear. This is fear. Fear, we're all going in the wrong direction again. We thought we were going here. We got bad news, and now we're going down. But it's that downward perceived bad direction that's going to call in the light of unification and depolarization. Please call on the helpers to help us. Now, what did I see prediction-wise? I really didn't see very much. What I did see is, Trump is pissed. And I kept seeing over and over again, declaration of war. He's declaring war. I don't think military war, but definitely declaring war. He's pissed. I don't know what he's so pissed about. Declaring war on liberals, declaring war on tariffs. Like he's just, I saw him like raging at a rally, just like his face all red. So in a way, he's declaring his own personal war on something. Yeah. I did see some protests going on in the UK around the Big Ben. Lots of people just really protesting. I don't know what the issue was. I don't like to get very specific because when I get specific, I get wrong. So I'm just throwing this stuff out there. I don't know what the protests are about, but it's going to be pretty riotous. Okay. In general, Europe, I just kept seeing lots and lots of water, pouring water. And I did see an earthquake happening in Fresno. So I didn't really check in this month predictions, and you know, I'm just playing with this, and I'm not really interested in being specific and going, you know, continent by continent, or you know, getting real specific. So we'll just see. Anyway, wow. So let's all call on the cosmic helpers to help us through this. Let's try to get out of our polarized thinking and see that this is all just a beautiful, if not kind of uncomfortable play. It's all a game. The dark is inseparable from the light. They need each other. The light is inseparable from the dark, and we have to stop seeing others, situations, and events as culprits, because we separate ourselves from cosmic harmony. Okay, that's all for August. See you next month.